Hello, hello. Happy Thursday,
Hello.
guys. If you have questions, jump in. You can dive right in.
Hi.
See, should have more people joining this time. We got about 8 people inside the mastermind so far. Good, good. If you guys have wins, share some wins. We can start it off on a positive note. It's always good. A lot of
Wins in
wins.
the SaaS right now, or just wins in
You could do
general?
business wins. You could do personal wins. Anything. Any wins. Wins are good.
Well, I've started my developers working on a new project for us, so that's good.
Okay. So, Sean, are you the technical person or more like the sales marketing guy?
So I'm a technical person and I have a developer on my team as well. So I have a couple businesses, so I'm trying to keep income flowing for living and then building some SaaS products.
Nice, very nice. You guys aren't co-founders though, right? He's just kind of working under you.
No, yeah, I pay him a salary.
Hmm. Nice. So you're getting started on a new project. Is that different from the travel agency SaaS?
Yeah, so this one's actually my wife's business, which is completely nothing related to what I do. So we have trouble with clinic KPIs and stuff for like tracking her
Hmm.
clients and fall off and drop off and making sure the clinicians are doing their jobs. So she owns a clinic, hearing and audiology clinic.
Hmm.
Uh, so we've just it's kind of funny because what you talked about in your first section of the videos is like going on what you know, and this is certainly like she's in a lot of business coaching programs for her business, and things are like really rocketing up in sales. Like I think we're up almost 35% this year,
Nice.
which is significant. So, but we've been doing all of these systems and processes in our business, and we lack the tools to do it efficiently and effectively. So we're working on
You got
building.
to build your own.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're doing.
That's very good. And then, of course, you can go to other clinics and start selling it because you guys are your own case study, right? So
Yeah,
that's
and
really good.
it's kind of funny because there are no like clinic management softwares do not exist to actually build a business. They exist to serve a function,
Hmm.
but there's so many tools and things that you could implement to actually like grow systems in your business to actually make them more effective and more efficient.
Hmm. And how long has she been running the clinic for?
Almost 20 years.
Well, there you go. Domain expertise, right?
Yeah. So yeah, she has a lot. She has a ton of expertise in the area, and so it's kind of been we've been coaching with another business coaching program for almost 3 years now, and we've like seen significant growth based on those systems and tools, and now we're trying to digitize them and make them so that they're almost automatic, so no one has to do them anymore manually.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Very nice. Keep me updated on that tool.
I
That's good.
will.
Yeah, I'll share a win as well. We have a software development agency on the side. So from my, I guess, personal brand on Facebook, we have a couple people reach out to us. Sometimes they're looking to build a product and whatnot. We weren't interested in like partnering with a lot of people up until recently, until I kind of started seeing that trend. We had a pretty decent size like agency. They were doing like 35K a month or something, and they wanted to SaaSify their business. So they're doing like hiring for these big consulting companies, and they wanted to just build like a hiring platform and whatnot. And I wanted to test the thesis again. So of course I partnered with my co-founder. We built Clipio, we sold it, but I just want to do it again from a different angle where, we're going to build them the software, they're going to pay us to build it, but we charge a lot less than what we would normally charge. And then on top of that, we pitched it as like, we'll come on for some equity as well for both myself and my co-founder. So there's two of them and there's two of us. There's going to be a team of four. So I'll kind of keep you guys updated on that and what kind of trends we're seeing and how we're going to grow it. But yeah, I really think, and it was exciting for them as well, that idea, because it really incentivizes both parties for the same common goal. You want to grow this thing, you want to build a really good product. So, that's definitely a trend we're seeing is teams of twos, of course, but then teams of threes and fours I'm seeing more of. And I don't know how up to date you guys are with even Y Combinator's recent batch. On Twitter, a lot of people were saying they got rejected from Y Combinator because they were either solo building and they didn't have a co-founder or not enough of a co-founding team, really. So, yeah, we're definitely moving in this direction where teams of two minimum, but teams of three and four. Yeah, it's the way to go from what I'm seeing here. So, anything, Carlos? Any wins?
Yesterday I closed a new client. So yes,
Congratulations.
on the on my part of the agency, I have a new client that is an architect, and he wants to build a website different from all of the other architect types that just show the projects.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to go abroad of the Portugal. He only works in Portugal now. He wants to get abroad, and that will be a big win for everyone. So my work will be out there
Mm-hmm.
to outside of the world. That will be a good
So
part.
WordPress agency, right? I remember.
Yes, yes, yes.
Nice. How come you
Um,
prefer WordPress over other platforms? I'm just curious.
Easy to use on the client perspective. The way that we build like we can build a website in a day or two,
Mm-hmm.
fully fledged on with everything. If we already have the copy, everything in 2 days it's done.
Mm-hmm.
We are that fast, and
Nice.
we do all templates are made by us. So it's not a,
Mm-hmm.
plugin you plug in and it's working. No, we build the template in two
Mm-hmm.
days,
Nice.
and they use that as their main website and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing that comes to mind is, there's you guys in here. You guys have your own services, your offerings. We have some other guys that joined as well. I guess they're not going to be joining today's call, but inside of the school, if you look at the member section, you can get a short little uh, bio of the members, right? It would be good to be able to use this community as well, partner up where, there's some affinity. I know we have some sales guys in here that joined. There's more technical people, so it's a good community really to be able to. I wouldn't say like pitch your services and sell. I would say more so of like partnership wise and seeing if there's any affinity there. Down the road, of course, as we expand, people will be joining. They can post something that they're working on, or maybe someone they're looking to partner with, and it might be a good sort of a place for that. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, even the
But
website stuff. Everyone needs
my
a good website here and there, right? So,
yeah, it's just call me.
mhm,
But basically, I want to step up and do a multi-tenant way to make it a SaaS or WAS as they call it.
mhm,
I have my templates of my clients. I
mhm,
have the copyright of everything. So what I want to do is have like let's say a 24 hours turnover on a client website. But
24 hours, but that would still require manual work, right?
yes, it will still require some manual work,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be their end and not my end. So that's what we want to do. Like we
So
deploy a new
you'd
website
be
in 24 hours,
yeah, so you'd be
and
changing from
you
like a done for you to like a done with you model.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. We will
Yeah.
have a done for you, a done with you, and a do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But with all the work that the knowledge that we already have, they have all built in the system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's more leveraged for sure. Yeah. See if there's a way to. I know even I hate go high level so much, but but
It's
I
not
know
it's not what I want to do. It's not what I want to do.
yeah, but
But
what I meant to say is, although I dislike go high level a lot, I know people are building like tools on top of it to be able to use with the platform, and they're fully automated. So I know a guy, his name is Gustin. He's like a big YouTuber, and he posts a lot about go high level stuff, and like he's building different stuff on top of it, like I guess plugins or whatnot. So yeah, that might be interesting route as well in the WordPress community. I don't know it too well, but yeah. How long have you been doing the WordPress agency for?
it's maybe 4 or 5 years right now, at
That's good.
least, with
That's
the
like good enough
agency.
domain expertise, I'd say. Once you
Yeah,
get to like 3 years,
with
4 years, that's pretty good.
without the agency, I have done like since 2018 maybe. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I start very young on the technology side.
Mm-hmm. Nice, nice. And then, Sean, I remember one thing you posted in the school where you were saying how you would prefer to partner with like a salesperson. Just curious if you have done any outreach, if you started looking for like any salespeople to partner with.
No, because I never really knew where to go, how to propose it, how much equity to offer, all that kind of it's such a huge decision to like make that step, and it's kind of
Yeah.
you don't want to go into it without proper knowledge of what to do and how to do it and those kind of things. Because like for me, like I absolutely struggle with selling. Like there's no doubt about it. So it's kind of been that one piece that I feel I've always been missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be one thing we'll be discussing. I'm actually working on. It's part of this sales letter that we're writing, but I'll share the screen and I'll give you guys an early look at what we're working on the back end. But in the sales letter, of course, I go over like a high level overview of what we kind of cover inside of the masterclass and the mastermind here. And of course, with some of the modules to come, we'll go into hiring, not hiring, but more like sourcing your team members and partnering with these people strategically. So we'll get to that for sure. But in the actual sales letter, I go over the story of how I went from my first project where I'm not the technical person, but I ended up getting burned for about $6,000 trying to build an MVP like years ago. That was my first introduction to software as a service. And yeah, right here, here's the original message. And I knew absolutely nothing about SaaS. So, to give you guys a quick rundown, I was looking to build something in the online advertising space, so paid ads. So, we used to run a Facebook ads agency, and we would help customers with their paid ads, customer acquisition. Here's like a screenshot of one of our Facebook ads managers. We were managing over 100K in ad spend. So with that came issues with ad attribution. And now you have like these ad attribution softwares like Hyros. There's people like Alex Becker. I'm pretty sure Alex got like a 9-figure exit from Hyros, which is crazy. I remember when he just started it years ago. So that's kind of the space I was looking to build in. And the story goes into how I got burned from a random guy that I was just connected with on LinkedIn. I didn't bother doing intensive research or sourcing my partners or anything. So, the guy was basically saying, he's working on it. Months go by, he's still working on it until you get to the point where he ran out of resources to build it. and it's too challenging to build, so kind of just gave up on it, which was horrible at the time. And so that was my very first introduction. I call it tuition. You pay tuition, you pay to play, you learn. And then from there, it took me a whole 12 months after that before I touched anything related, software related again. And that was a big scar. The first interaction I had in the SaaS world. And then the next project I worked on, it was the partnership. So back when OpenAI released GPT-2 a few years back, I decided I was running like a sales agency as well, aside from the paid ad stuff, everything customer acquisition related. So we were doing a lot of cold emails, and before you had these like AI email tools or something like that, all that stuff went viral. That was one of the products that, I wanted to work on, wanted to build just to automate my own agency. So again, trying to solve my own workflow problems. And then I went to Twitter, and I actually go into like the whole script, outreach script that I sent to this guy who ended up becoming my co-founder at this old software company. So going from getting burned for 6K to then partnering with this guy, where at first I only offered him 30% equity. That was the original part of the script, and then from there, I think we ended up being 50-50 partners. We scaled newreply.com. It's still live to this day. I scaled it to 8.6K per month. So that was that company. And then we were kind of misaligned. So from the beginning, there was kind of this thing like who's CEO, who's this, who's that, who's going to make the decisions. You kind of want to set all that from the beginning, and we'll kind of get into that down the road in other modules. But there was an issue where, we weren't aligned on where we wanted the product and the company to go. And so all of my decision making data was just based on the users. So I'd always go to him and I'd say, listen, this is what we need to do. This is what we're seeing based on the users. And, he kind of disagreed. He said, no, we should do this, we should do that. So I said, that's fine. Let's just go our separate ways. Kind of ended up just giving him the whole company, which is kind of wild. Should have, try to maybe keep some equity or something like that. But yeah, I was just so done with it. It was very stressful. But that was part of the process until the next partnership where, now I learned properly how to source these people, how to find the right people. And so now it's been 2 years since working with my current co-founder. We went 50-50. And we've worked on a couple projects now. We have our first exit, working on many other things. I'm sure we'll have bigger exits down the road. Just an overall great person to be working with. So yeah, you really want to work with people that complement your skills. And we go through this whole story in the sales letter. But yeah, so this should be released soon. It's a good little story, but all that stuff when it comes to partnering with people and finding them, we will go over for sure in the later modules. Yeah, but yeah, before it was like if you're a non-technical person, so more like the marketing salesperson, so like myself, I think before it was those guys trying to partner with the technical people. Then you kind of see a smaller shift where you do have technical people that realize like they don't necessarily want to sell the product. They just want to build it. They just really want to focus on, the code part of it. And they really need someone to sell. But now, on top of that, you know, even seeing the instantly.ai guys go from zero to like, I think they're doing 20 million ARR, that cold email software. I remember when they just launched and they were at zero, crazy growth. But even those guys, once you have a co-founding team of two people, the sales marketing guy and the technical guy, it makes even more sense to be able to offer a chunk of equity and find like one more distribution person. And you can maybe call that like a head of growth, or someone who can really relay the information coming top down from like the CEO who is the sales marketing person, um, and just run with it and just really just focus on customer acquisition and growth, everything. Because you know, I think with two people, it's still difficult. I think you kind of need that third person, and maybe that's why Instantly like grew so much. It really makes sense to find someone who's just focused on the growth, right? Because the CEO is going to be focused on other things too, right? He'll probably allocate 20, 30% of his time, maybe 40, 50% of his time to the customer acquisition, to the growth, but then he has other things he needs to do as well. More top level business stuff as opposed to in the trenches, like in the DMs, in the inboxes, like that kind of stuff I think could be outsourced for some equity. You know, you can do 5%, 10%, offer some small equity to like a growth person. If you find someone really good, I would say do like a full 33% each co-founding team. Yeah, those are the type of projects that I think are gonna really scale and do well. It's just really good synergy. So yeah, anyways, all that to basically say, Sean, we'll kind of get into how you'll be able to find these people, but yeah, you just got to know where the right people hang out for what you want to do, and who
Okay.
you're looking for. And I was watching this documentary yesterday on Netflix. I was going to bring this up. It was really good. It's called Living with Leopards. It just came out. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Okay, it's really, really good. It's about a team. This is crazy. It's about a team of I think like 4 people or something, and they for a few years they spent in like somewhere in Africa just observing leopards, like a family of leopards, and like a specific family. And they would follow them around for years and just see how they acted and just see how they lived and all that. It was a brilliant brilliant documentary. I would highly recommend watching it. And one thing that there's 2 points that I got from it. The first point was, how on earth do you convince a random person to just say, "Hey, let's go live in the wild for a couple of years and just film these leopards"? And of course, there's the risk of like literally being eaten alive in the wild. You're living there. And the second part is, how do you just like dedicate like years of your life to go partner up with these strangers and film these leopards? Yeah, I guess you're doing it for a Netflix special or whatnot. But I said to myself, you know, if these guys can do it, there's no excuse why, like in the software space, you can like partner up with people, like definitely. You can definitely partner up with people. It's much more attractive than saying, "Hey, let's go spend years in the wild in Africa." So, anyways, from that point on, the second point was very important, and it was if you want to find the leopards, you have to think like the leopard, and you have to live like the leopard. You have to be the leopard to be able to find them. So yeah, they run off, and then you have to go see where they go. You kind of learn their characteristics and their behaviors. So it's very interesting because it wasn't until I started watching things on YouTube that I guess a technical co-founder would watch. I would learn from CTOs. I would really immerse myself in that field of just the technical side as opposed to the sales marketing side. It wasn't until I did all that and I followed these technical people on Twitter and I was just really on the technical side. It wasn't until all that until I found my co-founder and I found the right technical person because I kind of knew what I was looking for, right? So the same thing I guess goes for the sales side. And it might be difficult to really immerse yourself in the sales side, but you know, watching the things they watch on YouTube, the type of interviews they might watch with the salespeople, the type of coaches, leaders, um, people they might follow. That's kind of where you want to go. And then it really bleeds through, even when you're jumping on calls with them, that you kind of know about their world and, you know, they might be more aligned with partnering with someone who kind of understands them more as well. So I thought that was pretty important from that documentary that I watched. It's really good, guys. You should give it a watch. But yeah, really just knowing that person very well, because I guess we attract what we are, right? So give a
There
part
was
of
a
yourself.
lengthy
Yeah.
there was a lengthy comment on one of your Facebook posts 2 days ago, I think, but it was someone going off about how the developers are expected to work for free, but the salespeople won't, and
Yeah,
you
I
challenged
highly
them on it quite
disagree.
aggressively. Anyway, I mean, I get his point, but I also get what you were saying. Like, it's a mindset block, not a real thing, but it's certainly how it feels when you talk to marketing people from a developer's perspective.
Um, for which side? Like
Like, as a technical person trying to find someone who's a salesperson, it's like, yeah, they all want money, but so
mm, you see, it's funny you say that because even from the side of the sales marketing person, if you want to go out there and say, "Hey, I have this thing I want to build," the technical people will say, "Sure, like give me 20 grand,"
yeah, no, I'm sure totally.
right? So it is a mindset thing. And listen, I do a lot of trolling on my Facebook. It's a lot of top of funnel stuff, and I have fun, and people take it so seriously. Um, but at the end of the day, it's kind of interesting to observe the, I guess, mindset of people and, the comments of people. And so that was, yeah, that was a very lengthy one. And that particular guy, I think he was saying like he hasn't had any success. And, quite frankly, if you're gonna have that mindset of, you're doomed, there's no way you're gonna like there's no way that works, that could be a huge attributing reason to perhaps why he wasn't able to find success with partnering with someone like that, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, guys, there's never been more of an influx of people that are willing to collaborate than right now. So yeah, I
but there's a
strongly
SaaS idea for you
SaaS idea, right? Trying to build like some platform or something like that where people
to
can,
bring the two sides together.
yeah, it's one thing we were working on. And this call I had with this client who wanted to build that hiring project where he places talent in other people's teams. I kind of thought about perhaps we can implement that in his platform rather than just building our own. So see, the thing with that is Y Combinator has a co-founder matching platform. Are you guys familiar with that?
No,
Okay,
No.
so um, I've never used it myself. It looks very good. I personally think someone can run off and build a SaaS from this. It's free to use, but I think even if you're charging like $9 a month, like something very small, you could get this thing to be pretty profitable. I think the thesis behind it is very good, and there's a lot of good people on here. So yeah, I'm sure it works. I'm sure it works for people. Check it out. It might be valuable. It's just one of the spots that I guess you can go to.
Y Combinator.
And how easy is to get a founding, a seed, a round seed?
How easy is it to find a co-founder?
No,
Um,
no, no. It's not the co-founder. Let's say that I get the co-founder and I go to Y Combinator or anything that raise the money. How easy we can, let's say, persuade the team or the investors to invest in us.
oh, for a seed round.
Yes.
Okay, so when investors look at investing in you for a seed round, first of all, one of the biggest things they look at is the founding team. So they're gonna look at who you are, what's your background, your track record. Same thing with your co-founder. So of course, the more attractive that can be, the better. So for example, if you're running your WordPress agency for years and you've generated revenue, that's a big selling point compared to someone who's starting a SaaS and they're just starting a SaaS and they don't really have a background or track record, right? Probably the best thing an investor could see is if you've had an exit. That's probably like the best thing. I would say like bootstrapped is good, but they really want to see like the lowest risk, which would be if someone has already invested in you and then you made that exit, so that investor became profitable. That's probably the best thing they can see. if you're bootstrapped and sold, it's probably a second best. And then after that is like, what are your personal achievements? Have you made revenue in the past? That kind of stuff. Right now, I see people raising money just because of like companies they're coming from, like OpenAI people. Then they're kind of leaving OpenAI and all that. But um, there are if you just need money, there are platforms like FounderPath that will that can offer you funding to build without giving up equity. That's one thing. But my overall thesis is just don't raise money if you don't need to. Try to partner with someone who can work with you without needing to raise money. I know it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you just need to raise money. But if you're looking to raise money just to, let's say, like hire a person, a specific type of person, like perhaps just try to find people like that and partner with them for equity instead, and just build a small founding team of like 3, 4 people. And chances are you can go a really long way. Like you can get profitable without raising money first, and you can kind of skip the seed round stage. So that's just kind of my opinion on it. Yeah, I think there was a bigger trend of raising money as opposed to now, like so many bootstrap people are getting profitable and they're skipping the seed stuff. And of course, if you're building like hardware or like something in the medical field, like you kind of need to raise money. It's expensive. Like if you're doing like some biotech thing, like yeah, you need the research, right? You probably need to raise money. But it totally depends, you know. Like, were you looking to do a seed round or something?
I was in a startup 2 years ago that didn't went well because of the funding, because they
Because they
didn't
didn't get
raise the
funding?
money. Yes, because the investors want we were 4 people working,
Okay.
but the investors only will approve if everyone will work 100% on the project, and one of the person will wasn't able to work on the project 100%, so they simply canceled the funding because of that.
Yeah, that just sounds like a bad founding team.
Yeah.
I yeah, like I don't know enough about the situation, like why they needed to raise money and whatnot, but like that
It
already
was
sounds
a
bad.
healthcare product, basically.
Yeah, it just sounds like, you know, not everyone was aligned as a founding team. Like there were some problems there before the investor and all that. So
Mhm. Okay,
yeah.
maybe that was I was the last one to step in as a developer. The
Uh-huh.
rest of the team was already been made, and they have a small micro MVP that worked, but was costing a lot because it was no code, and they didn't have the money to continue funding that. So that's why they went to investors, and the investors didn't want to do that without everyone commits 100% on that.
Hmm.
I was able to do that. Another partner was able to do that. Um, a medical person wasn't able to do that,
Hmm.
and the salesperson was not able to do that.
Hmm.
That what it killed the the funding.
Yeah, so just you guys all disagreed on that. Well, I guess another question is like you don't always have to rely on just one investor. Like you can go find other people that are more flexible.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure, you know, perhaps there were other ways of fundraising.
Yeah, I need to go check about that and understand all the ways that it's possible to fund to raise money. and
Yeah,
see.
I just, as like the sales marketing guy myself, from my perspective, I don't like the idea of raising money if you've like if you can't get the unit economics to work and you can't find profitability while you're bootstrapped, it's just like more money is not going to help.
They simply didn't want to make the customers pay. They were all using it free as a beta testers.
That's not a problem though. That's fine.
Yeah, but the costs were big to keep
Oh yeah.
everything running.
Yeah,
That was the problem.
so it's like a unit economics issue, right? So like you
Yeah,
launched a very expensive, like draining uh product. Yeah, you really need to get like that beta cycle like short. Like I wouldn't drag that on for months if
yeah,
the
but
expenses are
they
high.
drag it. They drag it a lot.
How long did they drag it for?
8 months.
Yeah, guys, like 8 months is really, it
It's
depends
a
on what
lot.
you're building,
It's a
but it's
lot.
really long. If you're just building something in like let's say a B2B software or something like this, like really you just need a first few weeks very intensive with a small group of people and you're talking to them almost every day. Like you can get that feedback that needs to be received in weeks, like month, 2 months max.
That was another problem as well.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a big
Now
one.
I understand why. Because I entered by the end of everything of that. I just entered to fill the role of the head developer because they didn't have one,
Hmm.
and I was going to perform all the development of the work that they use the no code app to do that
Hmm.
and do it for real and with all the features that they need. And when I step in, they already have a lot of months on beta and
Yep.
with a lot of follow-ups. Like it was like once a month or twice a month
Yeah.
that they did.
Yep. Guys, so I did actually upgrade to Zoom, believe it or not, but I did on the wrong account. So I need to we have about a
Okay.
minute here for the next call. I'll get it all sorted. But just a quick update, we're releasing the next week of modules, either today or tomorrow. So that should be out. And then all of these
Yes.
call recordings, those are going to be posted every week as well. So yeah, we'll
Awesome.
talk.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon, guys. No problem. And let's any questions or anything throughout the week, just post them in school.
All right.
Okay. Thank
Guys,
you.
thank you. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.